Hello and welcome to the Human Instrument Mastery podcast, where you will learn how to crack the code of your human instrument and master the skill of freedom and prosperity. This podcast is especially for those of you who are ready to say yes to your heart's desires, to your dreams, to your unique self-expression that is seeking to come out into the light and create a beautiful impact in your life and in the life of those around you at whatever scale you feel called to do so. I am Shimrit Nativ. I am a mindset expert and a success and freedom mentor. I am a mom, I am a wife, I am a dog lover, and I'm a lover of life. I'm an entrepreneur and a musician, and I have built a business and a life that I fall in love with every single day, and so can you. And in this podcast, every single week, I will be sharing with you insights, tools, practices, and ways you can easily integrate into your life so you can develop and master this skill and this instrument. So let's dive in. Today, we're going to explore the 7 universal laws, the fundamental principles that govern everything in our reality. Understanding these laws is essential because when we live in harmony with them, life becomes easier, more fluid, more aligned. And when we go against them, things feel forced, heavy, and out of flow. Think about it. From the time we could crawl, we were taught over and over to respect the law of gravity. Don't lean out of the window, hold my hand, watch where you step. We learned through repetition to work with that law for our physical safety and survival. No one has to remind us now not to step off a roof. It's programmed into us. We act in harmony with gravity automatically because that understanding lives deep in our subconscious mind. This is how all learning works. The subconscious is like a program running 95 to 98% of our lives. It stores everything we've learned, how to walk, talk, eat, drive, and function in the world. But not everything stored there continues to serve us. What once protected us can later limit us. And just as we learn to live in harmony with gravity, we can learn to live in harmony with the universal laws that govern energy, creation, and consciousness, and physical reality as well. Most people have never been taught these deeper laws. Maybe they've heard about the law of attraction or polarity, but rarely at the level that rewires the subconscious. To truly integrate them, we must study and repeat them until they become natural, until we no longer have to think about doing it right. Because these laws are at work all the time, whether we're aware of them or not, we're either working with them or against them. When we understand them, we can create success, abundance, and ease without force, just like riding downhill instead of uphill. When you ride downhill, you are moving with gravity. When you are trying to ride uphill, you are moving against the law of gravity. Let's start with the foundation. There is actually only one law, and that is energy is. Everything else, the 7 universal laws, are simply different expressions of that truth. As Einstein said, everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. You can call it God, spirit, source, or consciousness. It's all the same, one substance expressing itself in infinite forms. So let's start with the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is always moving into form. It's constantly moving to and through you. It never stops. Now, this energy is neither positive or negative. Again, energy is. To illustrate this or think about it in a way that is more familiar to us in our experience, think of breath. In fact, in Hebrew, the word for breath and the word for soul are almost the same. So breath is life, is that one substance, spirit, moving through the body. And if you think about it, it's not even you who is breathing, it's life breathing through you. You can hold your breath for a while, but you can't stop it forever. There is a greater will, greater than your own, that is breathing life through you. That's energy in motion. The same is true for thought or consciousness. You can quiet your mind in meditation, in sleep, but you can't stop consciousness from flowing. Energy is always moving, always expressing, always moving into form. And that's what this law says. When you have an idea, that's energy taking shape in your conscious mind. If you can articulate it, I want this job, I want this relationship, I want this home, I want this physical health, I want this amount of money. These are ideas that you have intellectually. So this is energy that has moved into an intellectual thought form that you now have. If you didn't have it, you couldn't have shared it. Now, when you become emotionally involved with the idea, when it becomes a genuine desire, that's again energy moving further into a vibrational form. And now you have it emotionally. Your feelings set your vibration. Now you have it emotionally. And because you have it emotionally, your vibration changes, and that affects your body and leads you to new actions and behaviors that will eventually yield that idea into physical form. So it's energy that has moved into an idea, a thought form, that has moved into a vibrational form that you feel, and eventually into physical form, into physical experience. Now let's talk about the law of relativity. As we said, energy is. So nothing is good or bad, big or small, hard or easy, until you perceive it as such. Energy is just is, and your perception gives it meaning. If something feels overwhelming, it's only because of how you're seeing it. You can practice shifting that perception. This is where your free will lives. You get to choose which ideas to accept and which to reject, and which to give your energy to. That choice, what you focus on, how you perceive things, where you choose to put your attention on, that is your greatest and only freedom. And that freedom is a skill that you can practice and master. So you might not feel like you can make those choices freely, but with repetition, with practice, you develop that skill and you gain that freedom. So let's talk about the law of vibration and the law of attraction. Energy is always moving into form. This means that energy vibrates. This means that everything vibrates. Nothing ever rests. Now, your emotions are your indications and give you the awareness of the vibration that you are in. Everything vibrates on different frequencies. The law of attraction is actually a secondary law to this law of vibration. It means that like attracts alike. You attract what matches your dominant frequency. Think of it like tuning a radio. The broadcast you receive depends on the frequency you're tuned into. If you want to experience something new, you must become the frequency of that reality. Think of it like tuning a radio. You might want to listen to a program that is broadcasting, but if you are not tuning your radio transmitter to the frequency it's broadcasting on, you will not receive it. Now, when you understand this, you no longer rely on hope. You cultivate faith. Faith is not hoping. Faith is knowing. And the key is understanding. Faith based on understanding is the key to freedom, is what one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, always used to say. When you understand how the law works, then you have certainty, because that's what laws are. They are certain. And then there is no need for hoping and wishing. One of my other great mentors, Dr. Joe Dispenza, says, hope is a beggar. You don't need to hope because there is no force outside of you that you need to hope that would yield what you want to you. When you have this understanding, you can develop faith, which is knowing. Let's now talk about the law of polarity. This law decrees that everything has its polar opposite. There is no in without out, no light without dark, no success without failure. If you're experiencing lack, the equal opposite, abundance, exists at the same time. That's what this law decrees. The degree of one defines the degree of the other. So when you notice lack, use this awareness to turn your attention toward abundance. Both exist within the same field. Where you focus determines what you experience. Another important law to know and understand is the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm. Everything moves in cycles, day and night, the tides, the seasons. When you understand this, you can relax into the rhythm of life. You stop resisting when you feel down because you know you're going to get up. You start trusting the timing of your own evolution. Awareness of this law brings you peace. It helps you stay centered through life's natural ebb and flow, knowing that every low carries the seed of the next high. Which brings us to the law of gender. The law of gender decrees that everything has an incubation or gestation period. It also decrees that everything has masculine and feminine energy within it. So an idea is a seed. It's a spiritual seed, an energetic seed. And when you plant it in the soil of your subconscious, it needs time to grow. And when you nurture it, it will, in fact, come into full fruition. So just like a farmer doesn't dig up the seed every day to check if it's sprouting, you must nurture your ideas with faith. Faith means knowing before seeing. It's this calm understanding that the invisible is already real. And it is also the embodiment of the masculine and feminine within you. The masculine gives you the seed, the idea, and the feminine receives it with trust and allows it to come forth and through into manifestation. Now, the last law that we're going to explore here is what Emerson called the law of laws, and that is the law of cause and effect. This law decrees that every action has a reaction. Every thought, every emotion, every vibration creates a corresponding result. Now, most people believe their experience is caused by something outside of them, another person, circumstance, or event, right? We say, I feel sad because this happened. I feel frustrated because this person did this or didn't do that. And we place the cause outside of us. But that is the truth in reverse. The cause is always internal and the effect is always external. You are never at the mercy of life or an external force. You are life. You are the source of that force. And it is being expressed through you by the law of cause and effect. Understanding these laws changes everything. You begin to see that you're not limited, you're not powerless, you're not at the mercy of chance. You are the cause, you are the creator, you are the source of supply. Through study, repetition, and emotional integration, you start to live in harmony with these laws and with the same forces that create worlds. And when you do, success, joy, and abundance stop being something that you chase or hope for. They become a natural experience of life. So I want to encourage you to save this episode and listen to it over and over again and really internalize this information. So eventually you know it by heart. Just like you understand the law of gravity and operate in harmony with it for your own physical well-being, you can operate with the same automatic way with these 7 universal laws for a greater experience of life for yourself and for others. And if you can think of someone else that can benefit from this information, send them the link to this episode too. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you here next time.